The sound of my heels clicking against the tile floor echoes through our empty house as I navigate around scattered beer bottles, my hands trembling with a fury I didn't know I possessed. The stench of alcohol burns my nostrils, mixing with something metallic and acrid that makes my stomach turn. I'm Maeve, and I've spent the last 12 hours transforming women into their most beautiful selves, only to come home and find my husband passed out on our kitchen floor, surrounded by empty liquor bottles and gadgets I've never seen before. Sleek boxes with price tags that could cover our mortgage payment. "Ryan?" My voice cracks. No response. Just the shallow rise and fall of his chest, his face pressed against the cold tiles. A thin line of drool connects his mouth to a small puddle beneath his cheek. The sight of him, dishevelled, pathetic, makes something inside me snap. I kick one of the bottles, sending it spinning across the floor. The sound jolts him awake. He blinks, disoriented, those bloodshot eyes struggling to focus on me. "What the hell is all this?" I gesture at the expensive electronics scattered around him. "Where did these come from?" He pushes himself up, swaying slightly. "Baby, you're home early." "It's 9:30, Ryan. I texted you 3 times about picking up dinner." He runs a hand through his hair, trying to smooth it down. "Lost track of time, was just celebrating a bit." "Celebrating what?" The words come out sharp enough to cut. "Got some great news at work." He attempts to stand, stumbling against the counter. "Big project coming up, huge potential." I pick up one of the boxes, a gaming console that costs more than I make in a week. "And this? This is what you do with our savings?" "Don't start, Maeve. It's an investment." "An investment?" I laugh, but it sounds hollow even to my ears. "Like the cryptocurrency last month, or that sports betting system before that?" He waves dismissively, reaching for an unopened bottle of whiskey on the counter. Before he can grab it, I snatch it away. "You need to tell me what's really going on." "Nothing's going on." His voice hardens. "Can't a man treat himself sometimes?" "Treat himself?" My fingers tighten around the bottle. "While I'm working 60-hour weeks trying to save for my salon? While we can barely make rent?" He steps closer, towering over me. "The salon again? Jesus, Maeve, let it go. It's never going to happen." The words hit like a slap. I see Sophie's concerned face from last week, hear her gentle suggestion that maybe I should check our joint account. I dismissed her then, defended Ryan. Now standing in our kitchen that reeks of booze and lies, I wonder what else I've been blind to. "Where's the money coming from, Ryan?" His expression shifts, something calculating replacing the drunken haze. "Don't worry about it." "Don't worry about it?" My voice rises. "Half of these gadgets cost more than my monthly income. Are you gambling again?" "You don't understand business opportunities," he sneers. "While you're playing with hair and makeup, I'm making real moves." I set the whiskey bottle down carefully, too carefully. "I'm going to check our accounts." He grabs my arm as I turn toward our home office. "Leave it alone, Maeve. You'll just mess everything up like you always do." The grip on my arm, the contempt in his voice. Something breaks inside me. Years of supporting him, believing in him, making excuses for him crystallize into a single sharp moment of clarity. "Let go of me," I say quietly, dangerously. He must see something in my face because he releases me, stepping back. "Baby, I didn't mean—" "Save it." I walk to our office, my mind already racing ahead. I know what I'll find when I log into our accounts, but I need to see it. Need to confirm what I've suspected but refused to acknowledge. Behind me, I hear him scrambling to gather the bottles, to hide the evidence of whatever this is. But it's too late. The trust is broken, and in its place, something darker is taking root. I pause at the office door, my hand on the knob. "By the way, Ryan, I'm not playing anymore." The bank statements spread across my desk like a roadmap of betrayal. Each transaction tells its own story. Online gambling sites, crypto exchanges, tech purchases. 3 years of savings. Gone. My fingers trace the numbers, each digit burning into my memory like a brand. "You shouldn't be looking at those." Ryan's voice comes from the doorway, steadier now but still slurring slightly. "Funny, I was just thinking the same about you and our money." I don't look up. Want to explain the $20,000 withdrawal from last Tuesday? He moves behind me, his shadow falling across the papers. Business opportunity, time sensitive, I was going to tell you. Like you told me about the gambling? That's different. I'm building something here, Maeve. You're too short-sighted to see it. My phone buzzes. Sophie's third message tonight. I ignore it. Your mother's coming for dinner tomorrow. Should I tell her about your business opportunities? He grabs my shoulder, spinning my chair around. Leave my mother out of this. Why? Afraid she'll see through your bullshit like last time. His face tightens. We both remember the intervention 3 years ago, Linda's quiet disappointment as she wrote the check to cover his debts. The promises he made. I've got everything under control, he says, but his eyes dart away. Right. That's why you're passed out drunk on Tuesday nights, burning through our savings. At least I'm trying to make something of myself, his voice rises. Not just playing dress-up with other people's hair, pretending I'm some kind of entrepreneur. The words hit their mark, but I refuse to flinch. My salon is real. My business plan is real. The only thing that isn't real is this marriage. His laugh is ugly. Your salon? You really think you can run a business when you can't even see what's happening in your own home? The doorbell rings, making us both jump. Through the window, I catch a glimpse of Linda's car. Perfect timing, I mutter. Ryan's face pales. She's early. She can't see. The bottles, the gadgets, your son passed out on the floor? I stand, smoothing my skirt. Don't worry, I cleaned up your mess. Again. I head for the door, but he blocks my path. Maeve, please, don't say anything. For a moment I see the man I married, vulnerable, pleading. But then I remember the bank statements, the lies, the years of manipulation. Move, Ryan. The doorbell rings again. Linda's voice carries through. Ryan? Maeve? He steps aside, defeated for now. I open the door to find Linda clutching a casserole dish, her perfectly composed face betraying nothing. I brought dinner, she announces, pushing past me, since no one was answering their phones. Her eyes scan the room, taking in the too-clean kitchen, Ryan's rumpled appearance, the tension in the air. Nothing escapes Linda, it never has. Mother, Ryan starts, but she cuts him off. Save it. I saw the bottles in the recycling bin. She sets the casserole down with a sharp click. Maeve, dear, would you put on some coffee? I think we need to talk. I move to the coffee maker, watching mother and son from the corner of my eye. Linda speaks in low, urgent tones while Ryan deflates further with each word. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Derek. Need to talk about Ryan. Important. I silence the phone, but not before catching Linda's sharp glance. She's always been too observant for comfort. Maeve, she calls out. How long has this been going on? I pour the coffee, buying time. Behind Linda, Ryan's face is a silent warning. Which part? I ask finally, setting the cups down. The drinking, the gambling, or the lies? The silence that follows is deafening. Linda's hand trembles slightly as she reaches for her coffee. I see, she says quietly. So, we're done pretending. Ryan slumps into a chair, defeated. Mother, please. No. Linda's voice cuts like steel. I've covered for you long enough. Both of you deserve the truth. She reaches into her purse, pulling out a thick envelope. There's something you need to see, Maeve. Something I should have shown you years ago. Ryan lunges for the envelope, but I'm faster. Whatever's inside feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Don't, Ryan whispers. But it's too late. I'm already opening it, already seeing the patterns of destruction that came before me, already knowing that everything is about to change. The documents in Linda's envelope lay scattered across my kitchen table like shrapnel from an explosion. Divorce papers from Ryan's first marriage, bank statements showing emptied accounts, a restraining order, letters from debt collectors. Each piece tells a story I should have known. He almost destroyed that poor girl, Linda says, stirring her coffee. Just like he's trying to destroy you. Ryan stands by the window, his back to us, shoulders rigid. That was different. I was different then. Different. I hold up a bank statement. The same pattern, Ryan. The same lies. Even the same excuses about business opportunities. My phone vibrates again. Derek's message glows on the screen. Meeting tomorrow, 2 p.m. Bring the files from his office computer. Linda catches the flash of my screen. Derek. He's still around? Don't, Ryan warns, turning sharply. Derek's nothing but a jealous... He called me, I cut in. Wanted to warn me about your new startup. Ryan's face drains of colour. What did he tell you? Enough. I stand, gathering the documents. The company doesn't exist, does it? Just another shell for your gambling. You talked to Derek behind my back? His voice rises, desperate. After everything he did to sabotage my career? Linda sets her cup down with a sharp clink. Derek didn't sabotage anything. He tried to stop you from embezzling company funds. The revelation hits me like a physical blow. What? Ancient history, Ryan snaps. Mother, you need to leave. Now. No. Linda's voice is steel. I watched you destroy one marriage with your lies. I won't do it again. My phone buzzes once more, Sophie this time. Karen needs to talk to you, urgent. The startup money, I say slowly, pieces clicking into place. It wasn't just our savings, was it? What did you do to Karen? Ryan's silence is answer enough. Tell her, Linda demands. Tell her what you did with your sister-in-law's investment. The room spins slightly. Karen had mentioned investing in a promising tech venture last month. She'd been so excited using part of her divorce settlement. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, Ryan mutters. The odds were perfect. One big win would have fixed everything. I grab my keys. I need to see Karen. Maeve, wait. Ryan reaches for me, but Linda steps between us. Let her go, she says. You've done enough damage. I'm halfway to the door when Ryan calls out, I'll pay it all back, I swear. Just don't tell anyone at work, please. The desperation in his voice would have moved me once. Now it just fuels something darker. Like you paid back your first wife? I ask, without turning. Or the construction company, or Karen. I mean it this time. I have a system. No, I face him finally. You have a disease, and I'm done being your enabler. Linda nods slightly, approval flickering across her face. Derek's lying to you, Ryan tries one last time. Whatever he said. Meeting him tomorrow, I cut in, watching his reaction. We'll see who's lying. The colour drains from his face completely. You can't. The files... He doesn't understand the context. The context of fraud? Linda's voice is razor-sharp. Or theft? Ryan lunges for his phone, probably to warn someone, but I'm already out the door. My hands shake as I start the car, adrenaline and rage mixing into something potent. Through the window, I see Linda holding Ryan back, her face set in grim determination. She catches my eye and mouths something that looks like, end this. My phone lights up with Karen's call, but I let it go to voicemail. First, I need to see those files Derek mentioned. Need to understand the full scope of Ryan's deception before I can help anyone else. The street blurs as I drive, my mind racing ahead to tomorrow's meeting. Ryan's panic tells me everything I need to know. Whatever's in those files is bad enough to terrify him. Good. Let him feel what Karen felt, what his first wife felt, what I'm feeling now. The rage crystallizes into something colder, more focused. Ryan thinks he's afraid now. He hasn't seen anything yet. I touch the envelope of documents in my passenger seat, Linda's insurance policy against her son's destruction. This time, there won't be anyone to clean up his mess. This time, he'll face the consequences. Derek's office feels like a confessional, all dark wood and hushed voices. He slides a USB drive across his desk like he's handling explosives. Everything's here, he says. The fake companies, the wire transfers, the gambling debts. But there's something else you need to see first. I reach for the drive, but he pulls it back slightly. You sure you want to go down this road? Once you see this, there's no going back. Karen lost everything, I say. Her divorce settlement, her business plans. This goes beyond Karen. Derek runs a hand through his hair. Ryan's been targeting others, people close to you. My stomach drops. What do you mean? He turns his monitor toward me, pulling up a spreadsheet. Names jump out, clients from my salon, regular customers I've known for years. Next to each name, Amounts in red. He's been stealing their credit card information, Derek says quietly. Using their identities for loans, cash advances. The room tilts slightly. Mrs. Peterson, who comes in every week for her wash and set. Tom's wife, Sarah, who trusted me with her wedding day makeup. All of them. How? My voice sounds distant. The salon's payment system. He installed software when he upgraded your computers last month. The pieces clicked together. Ryan's sudden interest in my business, his insistence on handling the tech upgrades himself. All this time, I thought he was finally supporting my dreams. My phone buzzes. Sophie. Where are you? Karen's falling apart. There's more, Derek says, clicking through files. The startup wasn't just a gambling front. He was using it to launder money from... A knock at the door makes us both jump. Through the glass partition, I see Ryan standing in the hallway, his face twisted with rage. You shouldn't be here, he snarls, bursting in. Derek, you backstabbing piece of... It's over, Ryan. Derek stands, positioning himself between us. The company knows everything. They're launching an investigation. Ryan laughs, but there's hysteria in it. Investigation? Into what? Your lies? Into this. I hold up my phone, showing him the text from Linda. Sent everything to the board. They're meeting now. The colour drains from his face. You're working with my mother? She's protecting me. Like she should have protected your first wife. You don't understand what you're doing. Ryan steps closer, his voice dropping. If I go down, you go down too. Those client accounts, they're all linked to your business. The threat hangs in the air. He's right. My salon, my reputation, everything I've built could be destroyed. Derek moves toward the door. I'll give you 2 a minute. Stay, I say sharply. To Ryan, you really think I didn't see this coming? That I wouldn't protect myself? His eyes narrow. What did you do? Ask Linda. Ask her about the evidence she's been gathering since your first marriage. Ask her about the recordings. Recordings? The word comes out strangled. Of every conversation where you admitted to stealing, to gambling, to using my business as cover. I step closer. I learned from your mother, Ryan. I learned to keep receipts. The door opens again. 2 security guards enter, followed by the company's legal counsel. Mr. Walsh, she says formally, please come with us. Ryan's face contorts. This isn't over, Maeve. You have no idea what I can do to you. No, I say quietly. You have no idea what I'm going to do to you. As they lead him away, Derek hands me the USB drive. There's something else you should know. About Karen's investment. Later, I cut him off, watching Ryan's retreating back. First, I need to save my clients. Then we'll talk about making him pay for everything else. My phone buzzes again. Karen. Then Sophie. Then Linda. Each one representing a piece of the wreckage Ryan's left behind. I clutch the USB drive, feeling its weight like a weapon. Send me everything you have, every transaction, every scheme, every lie. What are you going to do? Derek asks. Through the window, I watch Ryan being escorted to the elevator, his shoulders slumped in defeat. It should feel like victory. Instead, it feels like the beginning of a war. I'm going to burn his world down, I say, one truth at a time. The local news website loads painfully slow as I hit refresh again. 3 hours since I sent the anonymous tip, and still nothing. My fingers drum against the desk while Karen paces behind me. Maybe we should wait, she says. If this backfires, the headline finally appears. Local business manager under investigation for fraud. Below it, Ryan's company headshot stares back at me, his practiced smile now seeming more like a sneer. My phone lights up. Ryan's name flashes on the screen, followed immediately by a text. You really want to play this game? He's threatening you. Karen moves closer, reading over my shoulder. Another message appears. Check your email, now. I open my inbox with steady hands that betray none of the acid churning in my stomach. The subject line reads, Your clients will love this. Attached are screenshots of my salon's payment system, customer data, highlighted in angry red. A second email follows with a draft press release about identity theft at a local beauty salon. He wouldn't, Karen whispers. My phone rings again, Sophie this time. Turn on channel 7, she says without greeting. Right now. The TV flickers to life just in time to catch Ryan walking out of the police station surrounded by reporters. He looks appropriately devastated, perfectly wounded. "These allegations are completely false," he's saying, voice thick with emotion. "My wife and I have been experiencing some personal difficulties, and I'm afraid she's not thinking clearly." Karen swears softly. He's trying to get ahead of the story. "My only focus now is protecting our clients," Ryan continues, looking directly into the camera, like he knows I'm watching. "Especially those who trusted their personal information to my wife's business. My phone explodes with notifications, clients, employees, friends all asking questions I can't answer yet. The room feels too small suddenly, the walls pressing in. I need to get to the salon," I say, grabbing my keys. Before the door opens. Linda stands there, face grim. It's too late. He's already contacted the licensing board. "What?" "Called in an anonymous complaint about unsafe practices, client data mishandling." She steps inside, closing the door. "They're launching an investigation." The irony would be funny if it wasn't so devastating. I'd meant to expose Ryan's crimes, but he's turned it around, making me look like the unstable one, the threat to public safety. "We have proof," Karen protests. "The USB drive, which shows client data was compromised through my system," I cut in, understanding hitting like a physical blow. "He's made sure everything leads back to me." My phone buzzes again. Derek. "Board members asking questions. Need to talk." Linda moves closer, her voice dropping. "There's something else. The police found evidence of gambling transactions." "In my name," I finish. "Let me guess. He used my identity too." She nods slowly. "He's always been good at covering his tracks." The TV drones on, Ryan's performance reaching its crescendo. I just want to protect everyone involved, especially those closest to me. Something snaps inside me. I grab my coat, heading for the door. "Where are you going?" Karen calls after me. "To finish this." Linda catches my arm. "He's waiting for you to react, to prove his point about you being unstable." "I know." I shake free of her grip. That's exactly what I'm counting on. My phone lights up with another text from Ryan. "Ready to talk about a deal?" I type back 4 words. "Your mother says hello." No response. "Maeve," Karen starts, but I'm already moving. "Call Sophie," I tell her. "Tell her to release the recordings, all of them." Linda's eyes widen. The ones from his first wife? And the ones I made. The ones he doesn't know about. I pause at the door. It's time everyone heard Ryan's real voice. The TV catches my attention one last time. Ryan's finishing his statement, playing the concerned husband perfectly. But I see what others miss. The slight tremor in his hands, the sweat at his temples. He thinks he's won this round, turning my revenge back on me. But he forgot one thing. I learned from his mistakes. I learned from his first wife's silence, from Linda's regrets, from Karen's trust. I learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about letting them destroy themselves. My phone buzzes one final time. "Derek, it's done. Everything's in place." I step out into the night, leaving Karen and Linda behind. Tomorrow the real story breaks. Tomorrow Ryan learns what real revenge feels like. But tonight I watch him enjoy his last moment of control. It's the least I can do before I tear his world apart. The police station's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows across Ryan's face as he sits across the interview room table, looking more composed than he has any right to be. His lawyer whispers something in his ear, but his eyes never leave mine. "Drop the charges," he says quietly, "and I'll make sure Karen gets her money back." I lean forward, matching his steady gaze. "All of it?" "Every penny." He slides a document across the table. "Sign this statement saying you fabricated the evidence, and it's done." The detective, observing from the corner, shifts slightly. We all know what's at stake. My word against Ryan's, my evidence against his counter-accusations. One signature to undo everything. "You really think I'd take that deal?" His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "You might, once you hear the rest." The interview room door opens. Sophie stands there, face pale. "Maeve, You need to see this. In the hallway, her hands shake as she holds up her phone. A video plays, security footage from my salon showing me accessing client records late at night. Except it's not me. The timestamp matches nights I was with Karen or Linda, building my case against Ryan. He doctored the footage, I say, but my voice sounds hollow. The licensing board already has it. Sophie's eyes fill with tears. They're suspending your license pending investigation. The floor seems to tilt beneath my feet. Everything I've built, everything I've worked for. That's not all. Derek appears from around the corner holding a manila envelope. The bank found irregularities in your business accounts. They're freezing everything. Ryan's voice carries from the interview room. I'm just trying to protect everyone involved. My wife needs help. The words hit like physical blows. Help. Like I'm the unstable one. Like I'm the threat. He's going to get away with it, I whisper. Sophie grabs my arm. We still have the recordings. Inadmissible, Ryan's lawyer calls out, smug. Obtained without consent. Could actually result in additional charges. My phone buzzes. Linda. Karen's in the hospital, anxiety attack. Come quickly. The walls close in. My sister, my business, my reputation, all crumbling because I thought I could beat Ryan at his own game. Take the deal, his lawyer suggests. It's the only way to salvage anything. I turn back to the interview room where Ryan waits with that patient, knowing smile. He's planned this perfectly, turned every weapon I had back against me. You want to know the best part? He stands, straightening his tie. I learned it all from you. Watching you plot and scheme, gathering evidence. You taught me how to be thorough. The detective clears his throat. Mrs. Walsh will need your decision about pressing charges. Ryan moves closer, voice dropping to a whisper. You can't win this. Not without destroying everyone you love in the process. Karen's business. Your client's trust. Your mother-in-law's reputation. Linda chose her side, I snap. Did she? He pulls out his phone, shows me an email. Ask her about the offshore accounts. Ask her whose idea it really was to start documenting everything. My breath catches. Linda's words from weeks ago echo back. I've been gathering evidence since his first marriage. But the dates on the email tell a different story. She played us both, Ryan says softly. Set us against each other while she siphoned money from the company for years. Why do you think she was so eager to help you? The ground disappears entirely. Every certainty, every alliance I thought I had. Tick-tock, Maeve. His lawyer taps the statement. What's it going to be? Through the window, I see Karen being wheeled in, pale and shaking. Sophie hovers nearby, looking lost. Derek won't meet my eyes. And Linda. Linda stands apart, her face a mask I can no longer read. The pen feels heavy in my hand. One signature to end this, to save what's left of my life, my sister's future, my client's trust. But as I reach for the paper, my phone lights up one last time, an unknown number with 4 words that change everything. I was his first. The timestamp shows it was sent an hour ago, just as Ryan's perfect defense began to unfold. His first wife. The one who disappeared. The one everyone said had run away. I set the pen down. No deal. Ryan's smile falters just slightly. He doesn't know yet, but he will. Some vengeance isn't about winning. It's about surviving long enough to tell the truth. The hospital corridor stretches endlessly as I make my way to Karen's room, each step echoing with the weight of consequences. Through the window, I see her sleeping, monitors beeping steadily. Sophie sits beside her, head bowed. My phone buzzes. Ryan's first wife. Meeting in 20 minutes. Parking garage, level 3. I hesitate at Karen's door, watching my sister's chest rise and fall. The doctors say it was just anxiety, but we both know better. The stress of losing everything, of watching our careful plans implode. She's stable, Sophie says without looking up. Go. I never meant... I know. She finally meets my eyes. Neither did I. The unspoken truth hangs between us. We all played our parts in this destruction, even Sophie feeding information to Linda while thinking she was helping me. The parking garage is dimly lit, Concrete pillars casting long shadows. A figure stands near the far wall, female, slight, familiar somehow. Hello, Maeve. I freeze. Not Ryan's first wife. Linda. Surprised? She steps forward. Expected someone else? The text was from me. She holds up a phone I recognize, the one Ryan's first wife used to contact me years ago, when she disappeared. I kept it, just in case. Footsteps behind me. Ryan emerges from behind a pillar, then Derek from another direction, trapped. Family reunion? My voice stays steady despite my racing heart. Of sorts. Linda moves closer. Time to end this game. It was never a game. The words taste bitter. Ask Karen. Ask your son's first wife, the one you helped disappear. Helped? Linda laughs softly. I orchestrated it, just like I orchestrated this. Ryan steps into the light, looking uncertain for the first time. Mother? Quiet. She doesn't even glance his way. You've served your purpose. Understanding dawns cold and sharp. The offshore accounts, the evidence gathering. It was all you? Someone had to clean up his messes. She gestures at Ryan. Keep the family name intact. The company stable. By destroying everyone around him? By controlling the damage? Her eyes harden. Until you started digging. Started exposing things better left buried. My phone feels heavy in my pocket, recording everything. One last gambit. Karen nearly died because of your damage control. Collateral damage. Linda shrugs. Like Ryan's first wife. Like you'll be. Ryan moves suddenly, grabbing his mother's arm. What do you mean, collateral damage? Please, she shakes him off. You think I'd let either of your wives expose our family? Your first one understood eventually, took the money and disappeared. You told me she ran away, Ryan whispers, that she abandoned me. You believed what you needed to believe. Linda turns back to me. Just like Maeve believed she was clever enough to beat us at our own game. Derek shifts uncomfortably. This wasn't the plan. The plan changed. Linda pulls something from her purse, a small revolver. Sometimes loose ends need cleaning up. Ryan steps between us. Mother, stop. Move aside, Ryan. No. His voice strengthens. I've done everything you asked. Covered your embezzlement. Took the blame for your schemes. But this ends now. Linda's laugh is cold. You think anyone will believe you? The gambling addict? The unstable son? They'll believe this. I pull out my phone, showing the active recording. And the copies I just sent to every news outlet in the city. The garage echoes with approaching footsteps. Police, FBI, reporters, all responding to an anonymous tip about a confession. Linda's face contorts. You couldn't. I learned from the best. I meet her eyes. You taught Ryan how to destroy lives. He taught me how to survive it. The gun wavers. Ryan grabs it, wrestling it away as authorities swarm in. Linda's mask finally cracks as handcuffs click into place. I was protecting our family. No, Ryan says quietly. You were protecting yourself, and you used me to do it. As they lead her away, Ryan turns to me. I'm sorry for everything. I know. I watch Linda disappear into a police car. But sorry doesn't fix what's broken. What happens now? I think of Karen in her hospital bed, of Sophie's guilt, of all the wreckage in our wake. Now? I step away from him. Now we all live with what we've done. The morning sun breaks through the garage entrance, casting long shadows behind us. Somewhere above, Karen is waking up to a world forever changed by our revenge. Some victories feel more like wounds, but at least they're honest ones. The new salon key feels heavy in my palm as I unlock the doors for the first time. Not just a chair rental anymore, my own place built from the ashes of what Ryan and Linda tried to destroy. Karen stands beside me, looking stronger now. Ready? The morning light streams through freshly cleaned windows, catching the gilt lettering. Phoenix Beauty. A reminder that some things have to burn before they can rise again. Almost. I check my phone one last time. A news alert shows Linda's sentencing 15 years for fraud and embezzlement. Below it, a text from Ryan's first wife. Thank you for finding me. Inside, everything gleams with possibility. Karen runs her hand along the reception desk, the one she'll manage once she's fully recovered. Sophie called. She's bringing pastries for the staff meeting. And Ryan. Checked into rehab yesterday. She hesitates. He asked if you'd visit. I place my styling tools in their new home, each one a small act of reclamation. Maybe. Someday. The bell chimes. Derek enters carrying a thick envelope. Final paperwork from the investigation. Thought you'd want to see it. Keep it. I don't need to read about Linda's schemes anymore or see the proof of how deeply Ryan was trapped in her web of manipulation. There's something else. He pulls out a single document. Ryan signed over his share of the settlement. Said it should go to Karen's business fund. Karen's breath catches. All of it? With interest. The gesture sits uncomfortably between redemption and guilt. Like so many things these days. More footsteps. Sophie arriving with breakfast and nervous energy. First clients in 30 minutes. Mrs. Peterson insisted on being first. After everything? Karen asks. Because of everything, I correct her. Mrs. Peterson had testified for me at the licensing board hearing, bringing other clients with her. They'd seen through Linda's manipulations, recognized the truth beneath the lies. We gather around the reception desk. Karen, Sophie, even Derek. All of us changed by the past months, carrying scars and wisdom we never wanted. To new beginnings? Sophie raises her coffee cup. The phrase feels too simple for everything we've been through, too neat for the messy truth of revenge and justice and family loyalty. To honest endings, I counter. The door chimes again. A woman enters, young, uncertain, wearing sunglasses despite the early hour. When she removes them, I see the fading bruise around her eye. I'm sorry, I know you're not open yet, she says quickly. But I heard you help people start over. Karen and Sophie exchange glances. Derek quietly excuses himself. What's your name? I ask. Rachel. She twists her wedding ring. My husband. Sit. I guide her to the consultation area. Tell me everything. As she speaks, I see reflections of my own story, of Karen's, of Ryan's first wife. The cycle continuing, but maybe this time with a different ending. My phone buzzes. Another text from Ryan. I understand now. What Mom did to all of us. What I became because of it. I'm sorry. I set the phone aside, focusing on Rachel's trembling hands, her desperate eyes. Some apologies don't need answers. Some revenge isn't about destroying someone else. It's about rebuilding yourself. We can help, I tell her, but not just with your hair. Understanding passes between us, the same understanding I saw in Linda's eyes as they led her away, in Ryan's face when he finally chose truth over loyalty. Karen brings Rachel tea, Sophie starts gathering resources and phone numbers, and I see our reflection in the salon mirror. All of us scarred but standing, helping another woman find her way out of the darkness. This is how vengeance echoes. Not in the destruction we cause, but in the strength we pass on. In the truth we speak. In the hands we reach back to offer others. The morning sun climbs higher, warming the salon's new floors. Soon it will fill with clients, with stories, with transformations both simple and profound. But for now, I sit with Rachel, listening to her story, remembering my own. Some victories don't look like winning. Some justice doesn't feel like triumph. Sometimes it just feels like surviving. And sometimes, that's enough.